Well, she'd sent us a video, basically, of a toy, and she was having an interaction with it. She was actually talking to this toy, and it was responding to what she was asking it. Well, me and Gary were sat in the one room, and I saw something like superimpose over Gary as he was looking in the mirror, and then the blood starts to appear then, coming down his back. There was still this thing, this darkness in the house, this energy, and you couldn't quite put your finger on it. So I'd asked a gentleman called Lionel Fanthorpe, who is a supernatural vicar, and he deals with the supernatural. He played himself in the film The Omen. And I'd watched him on this series called Weird Wales, and I was a big fan and an admirer. And I'd phoned him up and asked him if he would do an exorcism on a property, because the church wasn't helping with any of these cases I was dealing with. And I mean, they wouldn't help. They're not interested, most of them. So Mr. Fanthorpe turns up. He blesses the house. He blesses some objects that have been, I'd say, used in dark sort of rituals and magic. It seemed to calm down for a bit after that. There was still activity, but that would be normal for a person, I guess. That's what I thought. I talked to the girl whose case it was, and talked to her about it and said, look, you're going to experience the paranormal because you're like me, and you're like Jazz, and like all these other people that talk to spirit. But it never seemed to really change. It never seemed to really be at peace, and everything that happened to this poor girl in this house seemed to be quite unique, and she had bad luck and with all sorts of aspects in her life. But out of the blue, this one day she rings us up, because we had discussed there was missing time in her life, and we had discussed an ET connection, and basically she had problems, women's problems, and she was told she probably was never going to have kids again. She'd had scans and different things that backed that up. And this one night something happened to her, and she woke up and she had these 3 bizarre kind of needle marks in her belly. And we went there and we took photos and we had a look and we chatted about it. And the next thing she knows, she's pregnant, and everything's perfect. Her ability to carry the baby is completely fine, and everything has changed. When she was told, and the hospital said, we must have got it wrong like 7 or 8 times. So I can remember thinking, this is new to me, the UFO stuff, dealing with actual abduction and anything like in that regard. So I got to be honest, I didn't know what to do. I dug some information up. I tried to find some people. Apparently there's only like 4 people in the world that's ever kind of stopped abduction, because it's not something you can stop. And one of them lived in the UK. I couldn't get hold of them. Just couldn't. Tried with all my might. So yeah, I was kind of stumped in that aspect of the case. But stuff continued to happen, and I'd gone back and we chatted about it, and we'd had a look at it, and I said there was objects in this house that we needed to get rid of. They need to be destroyed. So that's where me, Jared and a couple of others went down there, and we got our hands on these objects. We dug them out of the house, because they were in a spare room, and she had all furniture from somebody who was living with her, and they couldn't take it, and it was blocking the way. and we managed to get these objects, and that is kind of where the real sort of negativity and darkness begins. So yeah, I will tell you about it in the next video, guys, and I'll leave it to you to make up your own minds. See you in a bit, guys. Love and light.